Today we are going to talk about the second conditional, okay? We use the second conditional when we are talking about hypothetical situations, so unreal situations, okay? Unlikely situations, okay? Let's see here. So it says imaginary situations for the present or for the future. Here I have a picture. I want to know if you know him. Do you know him?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. What is his name?
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron. Okay. What is his job? What is his occupation?
Actor. He's an actor.
He's an actor, right? So we're going to use Zac Efron for our example of an imaginary situation, okay? I have a friend who is a very big fan of Zac Efron, okay? And I asked her, what would you do if you met Zac Efron? ¿Qué harías si conocieras a Zac Efron? And she told me, if I met him, I would ask him for an autograph. Okay. If I met him, I would hug him. If I met him, I would take a picture with him. Okay, so as you can see, all this situation is imaginary, is unreal, is hypothetical. What would you do if you met him? ¿Qué harías si lo conocieras? Todo esto es imaginario, ¿cierto? No es real. So, as you can see, we use this conditional tense to talk about imaginary situations. Any questions until here? Okay, let's see the structure of these kind of sentences. These are called the second conditional sentences, and as we said before, we use them to talk about imaginary situations and real situations, hypothetical situations in the present or future. Okay, so in every conditional sentence, we have a situation or condition. Okay, in this case, the situation is the sentence of the or the clause with if and the past simple. And then we have a result. In this kind of conditional, the result is would plus a base form of the verb. And this is the structure that we are going to use for the second conditional sentences, okay? As you can see here, in the examples about Zac Efron, we use this structure, okay? For example, if, the verb in the past simple, and in the result, after the comma, we use I would ask him. So the verb is in the base form, would, and the verb in the base form. We sometimes can replace this would for could. Okay, a veces podemos reemplazarlo por could. En lugar de poner would, podríamos poner could. Okay, so this is the form we use for the conditional sentence type 2, the second conditional sentence. Okay, here I have an example. If I decided to create an avatar, it would be a warrior. Okay, as you can see, this one is the situation. I'm going to underline this. This one is the situation. Okay, and this part is the result. Okay, as you can see, in the result, I use would and a verb in the base form. And in the situation, I use if and the past simple form of the verb. Okay? So, my question for you is, what would you do if you decided to create an avatar? What would you do? For example, you can say, if I decided to create an avatar, it would or I would. Okay, I want you to complete this sentence with your own ideas. Okay, But first, I want you to tell me if you have any questions about these conditional sentences. Conditional sentences type 2. ¿Alguna pregunta? Okay, so I'm going to give you some seconds so you can complete this sentence. Let's check your sentences. Jordali, what is your sentence? What is your answer to the question here? Jordali?
If I know, okay. If I decided to create an avatar, it would be a curly girl.
A curly girl. Okay. What happened with your camera?
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's go with Cecilia. What is your sentence?
If I decided to create an avatar, it would be a tall girl.
A tall girl. Percy, what about you?
If I decided to create an avatar, it will be a traveler.
A traveler. Okay. Anybody else who wants to read the sentence? Anybody else who wants to correct the sentence, maybe?
Me, teacher.
Okay, please.
If I decide to create an avatar, is would like to be a hero to many people.
Okay. Remember that the verb is in the past, and in this situation, we mentioned the ed at the end. If I decided, okay, if I decided to create an avatar, it would be a hero. Okay, very good. What about you, Kelly?
If I decided to create an avatar, I would like to have long hair and big eyes.
Okay, thank you. Rafael?
If I decided to create an avatar, it would be a soldier of the Second World War II.
Okay, very good. Good sentences. Okay, I want you to tell me if you have doubts about this. Any questions about this? Remember that after would, you need to use the verb in the base form, right? As you did it before. Let's go here to the book. It says, look at the sentences. I'd choose somebody that I liked looking at. Maybe I'd prefer to be a guide. In fact, if I decided to create an avatar one day, I wouldn't create an extension of myself. Okay? As you can see, these sentences are in the second conditional. Okay? So here we have some words in bold. As you can see here, I'd choose, I'd prefer, I wouldn't create. Okay, so it says, look at the verbs in bold. Do they refer to a real action or imaginary actions? What do you think? Real or imaginary actions?
Imaginary.
Imaginary. So we are talking about something that is not real. Underline the verbs that follow if. What are the verbs that follow if in these sentences? For example,
Decided.
decided, right? Okay. What tense is this? What tense is the verb in?
Past simple.
Past simple. Does the verb refer to the past, present, or future? The verb is in the past simple. But the question is, does the verb refer to the past, present, or future?
Future.
Future. Present and future, right? Could be present or could be future, but not past, right? Okay, let's complete the grammar panel here about the imaginary situations in the present or future. It says, we use would to talk about an imaginary action or response. I would enjoy that, or I wouldn't design an avatar. Okay. Sentences with if and the past simple. We can use if and the past simple to introduce an imaginary situation. If I decided to create an avatar, I would. The past simple here does not refer to the past. It refers to the present or the future. Notice when we use the verb to be with if in the past simple. We can use both was and were with I, she, he, and it. ¿Ok? Normalmente lo vamos a ver de esta manera. If I were, ¿ok? Generalmente ustedes lo van a ver de esta manera. Como pueden ver, no conjuga el verbo, ¿cierto? Como if I was. Generalmente se ocupa el were. If I were the president, for example, ¿qué podríamos decir acá? If I were the president, I would what? ¿Qué harían si fueran la presidenta o el presidente? If I were the president, I would.
I wouldn't be a liar.
Again, please.
I wouldn't be a liar.
Okay, I wouldn't be a liar. Okay. So, generalmente cuando tengan he, she, it or I, lo van a ver con were. Pero en otras situaciones puede que vean was. Pero es un poquito más informal cuando ponemos was. Okay, if I was or if I were. If he was or if he were. If she was or if she were. Okay, generalmente lo van a ver con were. Any questions until here? I want you to go to the page 150. Here we have exactly the same, as you can see. If plus the past simple for imaginary situations in the present or future, and the imaginary action or response in the present or future with would or wouldn't plus the verb, okay? For example, if I had a car, I would drive or I wouldn't drive to work, okay? So, answer the questions with would or wouldn't. For example, number one, it says, what would you do if you saw someone shoplifting? Would you try to stop them? Do you know what is shoplifting?
No, teacher.
To stealing something. Okay, a person who is stealing something, a product or something. Robar significa shoplifting. Okay, so what would you do? I want you to write your answer for this question, and then we are going to listen to them. Remember that you have to answer. If I saw someone shoplifting, I would or I wouldn't. I want you to write the complete sentence, okay? If I saw someone shoplifting, comma, I would
try.
try. I would try what? ¿Qué trataría de hacer?
To stop them.
To the stop.
To stop him or her, right? Him or her. Very good. If I saw someone shoplifting, I would try to stop him or her. Any other ideas for number 1? What about you, Laura? What would you do?
Stop him, teacher.
So I want you to say the complete sentence, okay?
If I saw someone shoplifting,
Lifting.
I will try to stop him.
Ok, en lugar de decir I would try to stop him, podrían decir también I would stop him. Lo detendría o la detendría. What about you, Renata? What would you do?
I will tell someone from the store.
Okay, if I saw someone shoplifting, I would tell someone from the store. Okay. And you, Carlos? What would you do?
If I saw someone shoplifting, I would help help another person to or for stop him.
Okay. You will help another person to stop him or her. Okay, let's go to the second one. Where would you go if you won 2 free airline tickets to the destination of your choice? Who would you take with you? I want to know if you understand the question. ¿Entendieron la pregunta? Do you understand the question? Where would you go if you won 2 free airline tickets? Okay, and the second question is, who would you take with you? ¿Cómo empezaría su respuesta, Samara?
I would teacher, if I want 2 free airline tickets, I would travel to London with my best friend.
Very good. If I won 2 free airline tickets, comma, don't forget the comma, it's very important. I would travel to London with my best friend. Very good answer. What about you, Karen? What would you do? Where would you go?
If I won 2 free airlines tickets, I would travel to Japan with my mom.
With your mom. Okay, nice. What about you, Rosie?
If I want 2 free airline tickets, I would travel to Indonesia with my boyfriend.
Okay. And you, Rafael?
If I want 2 free airline tickets, I will travel to Sydney, Australia with my family.
Nice. Okay. But you have to choose one of your family, right? One of your relatives, because it's only 2 airline tickets. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Who would you go to if you needed advice about a personal problem and why? What is the situation here, or what is the condition? ¿Cuál sería la condición acá? ¿Alguien me puede decir? The condition. ¿Qué pondríamos primero?
Cool.
Juan Pablo?
Cool.
No, no exactly.
Maybe if I needed advice.
If I needed advice.
I could choose to my best friend.
I would go, porque aquí dice, who would you go to? I would go to my best friend. Iría con mi amiga. Iría a pedirle consejo a mi amiga. Okay. So, if I needed advice, y el resto de la oración, coma, I would go to, y el resto de su oración. So, what is your answer here, Renata?
If I needed advice, I would go to my friend Camila because she gives good advice.
Okay. Nicole?
If I needed advice, I would go with my mom or my sister because they are very good at listening.
Are listening. Okay, Vanessa.
If I needed advice, I would go to my best friend.
Okay. Sebastian, what about you?
If I needed advice, I will go with a close friend because he knows me better.
Okay. Remember that go to and go with is different. Go with, los dos van juntos. En cambio, go to, ir hacia alguna persona. Ok, entonces en esta situación sería go to, no with, right? Porque yo puedo decir, I go with my friend to the cinema, right? But I go to my friend when I needed advice. Okay? Good. Let's continue. It says, complete the sentences with the verbs in the parentheses and would or the past simple. I want you to do this and then we are going to check together, okay? Let's start with the first one. It says, can I ask you a question? Yes, sure. Go ahead. What?
Would you do?
What
You do?
would
you do?
you do? What would you do if they
Offer it.
Offered.
Offer it.
offered? No. Offered. No, offered, right? Termina en T. If they offered you a free English course for a month, I'd take it, of course. Yes, but what if you
Had
plans to go on vacation at the same time? Well, I
Would try.
I would try to combine the two things, I guess. Yes, that's what I
would like.
Would like.
would like to do. Okay, let's go to the next part. So, have you been offered a course? Yes, I can choose to take it in Toronto, San Francisco, or Dallas. Toronto? That's definitely where I
Would go.
would go. Okay, very good. Where I would go. Good. Let's go to the book. Let's go back to the page 119, okay? As you can see, here we have also would plus the verbs of like or dislike, okay? For example, we often use would with verbs of like or dislike, okay? Or prefer, like, love, hate, enjoy, okay? This is when you are saying that you, que les gustaría hacer algo o que no les gustaría hacer algo, okay? I would prefer to be a guy. I'd rather be a guy. También podríamos utilizar I would rather en lugar de decir I would prefer. ¿Ok? Cualquiera de las dos son exactamente igual. I would rather or I would prefer. Okay, as you can see here, I would rather or I'd prefer. But doesn't take to plus verb. Ok, después de estas dos, vamos a anotarlo acá, déjenme mostrarles. Por ejemplo, acá, después de prefer, siempre necesitan to. ¿Ok? Y el verbo en la forma base. En cambio, en rather, solo el verbo en la forma base. No necesitan poner to. ¿Ok? Esa es la única diferencia entre I would prefer and I would rather. ¿Ok? So, let's see here. Here we have some other sentences with the conditional sentence type 2. It says, write sentences for the situations using would and if plus past simple. For example, here we have the situation number 1. I don't have much money, so I can't buy that game. This is the situation. And you have to write the conditional sentence here. If I had, ¿qué podríamos decir acá? If I had
much money.
Much money.
Okay. En lugar de decir much money, podríamos decir more money. Si tuviera más dinero.
We can also use enough.
Or enough money. Very good. Podríamos ponerlo. Enough. Enough money. Coma. ¿Qué pondríamos acá en la segunda parte?
I would
buy that game.
I would buy that game. Very good. Okay. What about the next one? I don't understand anything about virtual worlds, so I don't take part in them. If I understood, what can we say here?
If I understood about virtual worlds, I would take part in them.
Very good. If I understood about virtual worlds, or if I understood anything about virtual worlds, I would take part in them, right? Very good. Anything about virtual worlds, I would take part in them. Very good. What about number 3? I am very busy, so I can't always do what I want to do. If I weren't so busy, what can we say here?
I will do what I want to do.
I would do what I want to do. Very good. Let's go here. I don't have many friends, so I don't go out that often. If I had more friends,
I would go out with them.
I would go out.
With them.
Okay, yes, you can say with them or more often. Right? Más seguido. Okay. Good. Let's go to the next one. Number 3 here in the top. It says, finish the sentence so that they are true for you. Tonight, I'd prefer to, if I could take a vacation now, I would. I'd be nice if, I'd never, or I wouldn't like to. I'm going to give you some. Number 1, please, Kelly, how did you complete this sentence?
I don't have this sentence, teacher.
Why? Marisabel, what about you?
Tonight, it prefer to eat.
I
prefer to eat.
To eat what? In a restaurant, you can say. Tonight, I would prefer, or I'd prefer to eat in a restaurant.
In the restaurant, yes.
Okay. So, remember is I'd, porque es la contracción de I would. Y prefer, no prefer, okay? What about you, Geraldine? Number 1, please.
Tonight, I would prefer to watch a movie before sleep.
Before sleeping. Okay, because before is a preposition, right? Number 2, if I could take a vacation now, I'd, Sebastián?
If I could take a vacation now, I'd go to Samaipata with my friends.
Okay, thank you. Maria Celeste, what about you? Number 2.
If I could take a vacation now, I would like to travel to Greece.
Okay, very good. Or I'd travel. Podría decir. I would travel to Greece. Okay, Carlos, number 3. I'd be nice if.
I'd be nice if I would
No,
to
it,
go
dice,
to
perdón. It, sorry, no dice I'd. Dice it be nice if.
I'm sorry. If I would to go to travel free.
Ok, si nos damos cuenta, acá en esta oración ya tenemos el would. Entonces no podríamos repetir en la otra oración también would. Recuerde que en la oración donde usted tiene if, el siguiente verbo que va a ocupar es un verbo en el pasado simple. ¿Ok? Entonces, ¿cómo podría cambiar su oración?
I'm sorry. If I had have to travel free or free travel.
Okay. It would be nice if I had a free ticket for traveling. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. What about you, Karen? It'd be nice if.
It'd be nice. It would be nice if I had all my college courses paid.
Paid?
Paid.
¿Pegados?
No, o sea, aprobado.
Ah, okay. Approve. Okay, you can say approve. What did you say? What word did you use?
It would be nice if I had all my college course approved.
No, pero la última palabra que utilizó, ¿cuál fue?
Paid.
Paste.
Sí.
¿Cómo la escribe?
Passed.
Ah, ok, no. Si quisiera decir, sería past. Ok, pero mejor si dice approve.
Sorry.
Ok.
Approved.
Thank you. Let's go with Rosie, please. It'd be nice if.
It'd be nice if I could afford a new car.
Very good. Number 4. I'd never, Carla.
I never eat seafood.
Okay. I would never eat seafood. Tamara, I'd never.
I'd never stay in house if I had the possibility to travel.
Stayed at home.
At home.
Okay. I wouldn't like to, Jordali.
I wouldn't like to choose between my parents.
Okay. Vanessa, I wouldn't like to.
I wouldn't like to
¿Cuál es la oración que escribió?
like to. Esa no la hice, tenía la número 4 no.
Why? You have enough time, Rafael. I wouldn't like to.
I wouldn't like to train triathlon because it's very difficult.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to read any of the sentences to correct them?
Me, teacher.
Okay, maybe you can raise your hand so I can name you. Nicole, please.
Okay, I would never leave alone my sister if she were sad.
Yes, very good. I would never leave my sister alone if she were sad. Ese sería el orden. I would never leave my sister alone. Very good. Juan Pablo?
I wouldn't like to eat Chinese food.
I wouldn't like to eat Chinese food. Good. Geraldine?
It would be nice if I could have my homework done.
Very good. Chelsea?
Okay. If I could take a vacation now, I will go to La Paz.
Good. Cecilia?
If I wouldn't like to share a bad experience with another person.
Okay, very good. Good sentences.